5 seconds. Well, good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F1. We are here for season 17. It is round 6 of the championship as we take in the Spa-Francorchamps circuit from the legendary Belgian Grand Prix. Of course, I'm James here, going to be taking you through the stream as always. Once again, no Kieran McGinley alongside me, but it is a shame because his connection gives up on him now on a Thursday. It's been fine for 7 days and it's given up on him again tonight. So unfortunately, Kieran not going to be joining me alongside in the commentary box, but you've got me and that's better than nothing at all. There is 2 minutes to go until the clap for carers as well, so I urge everyone to get involved with that. Let's focus then on what happened last week and quickly run through some of the graphics. We had Karlsruhe winning in season 17, round 5 in Hungary, from Toxic in second and Carlsbury in third. That proved out to be quite a good race that we covered last week, of course, in Hungary at Magnar Nadadech at the Hungaroring. And what does that do then to some of the standings? Well, Karlsruhe has taken 3 out of the last 4 wins. Ash Best, the only one to get the win there in Britain. That was on time penalties, of course, he got that. Karlsruhe also got Stick 'em Up Driver of the Day. So the Toro Rosso man, currently our championship leader, coming into tonight. And it's Karlsruhe leading the way on the championship on 98 points from Schiaparelli in second on 56. Just a note as well, it is 5 points separating second to fourth within the standings. So Karlsruhe on top, 98 points. Schiaparelli in second on 56 points. Dilwarren in third on 55. Welcome back to CTG as well for Dilwarren. Toxic is in fourth on 51 points, and we've got Thomas in fifth on 37. Recon is in sixth on 32. Ash Best in 7th on 29 points, Rafa is in 8th on 28, Carlsbury in 9th on 27 and Navy in 10th on 17 points. Then we go to the second half of the standings. Leon Bentley in 11th on 16 points, with Light T in 12th on 15 points. We've got a tie, we've got Spike in 13th on 14, then we've got a tie for 14th between Cass and Abu, both on 12 points. Sean and the Goat on 4 points in 16th position, and Kelvin and Troll both tied for 18th on 1 point. Sheen, who I think might be making his debut here tonight if I'm not mistaken, he's in the Ferrari and he's got 0 points currently. Constructor standings, Toro Rosso on 127 points, currently leading the championship lead from Mercedes in second on 92 points. And really they're dominating at this affair currently within the constructors. Red Bull is in third on 63 points, with Williams in fourth on 60 points. Renault is in 5th on 49 points, McLaren in 6th on 43, Haas in 7th on 32 points, Alfa Romeo in 8th on 16, Racing Point in 9th on 15 and Ferrari in 10th on 12 points. And just to reiterate that we have got a new driver here tonight, LR Slimbo is in, Livid Racing Slimbo is in the Ferrari, replacing I do believe Sheen, who can't make it here tonight. So Slimbo, welcome to the championship and we hope to have a very good performance from him. It is of course Belgium, so you can pretty much expect the unexpected. And I mean, if we don't, we're not going to get anything. Safety car is off this season. Trust me on this one, because last season, me and Belgium, me and Kieran McGinley, well, yeah, you saw what happened last season in Belgium with the safety car glitch, with which Mashiro obviously caused, and that's why safety cars have now been turned off around here in Belgium. So we are getting into this short qualifying session, and what a night we have in prospect as well. It is the big night in, quite literally here in the UK. It's being broadcast on BBC currently over here. But what I want to do really is broadcast the big night in for you guys. It is the big night in, and you couldn't be in a better place watching TTTV here, and probably just participated in the clap for carers as well. And I know I heard my parents in the background doing that, and much appreciated. I do have an auntie that is within the NHS as well, and she, luckily, I can report, and I think I reported this on Monday within League of Europe, that the COVID ward up here where I live in Sunderland, that is, one of them has been closed down and another one is set to close within the next week or so. So all of these social distancing measures are working, and trust me on that when it's from the front line itself. Back here though, in the short term, to the Belgian Grand Prix, and it is an intermediate qualifying session so far. And judging by the rain that is coming down actually out on track, we have intermediate conditions, but that appears to me as if it might get drier during the session, as Thomas has left the session, so hopefully we can get him back in. But we are now in qualifying, so good evening to everyone that is tuning in, and hopefully you guys are keeping well on this lockdown Thursday night. I know it is quite stressful for everyone out there, but trust me when I say this, everything is working in terms of social distancing, and it will not be a couple of weeks until that actually happens. So let me have a look then at the comments section. Damaged hand and all, still let's see what I can do, says Spike. Good evening to everyone tuning in. Good evening to Conti, good evening to Recon, good evening to Mashiro, good evening to Toxic as well. Apologies a little bit about the delay. I got the call up saying that I was doing solo commentary, and that was as of 15 minutes ago, so we have to try and get the run in, and the lobby invite was a little late, so that's probably why we were a little bit late. On my end, a little bit late to try and preview the action, but we have got action out on track, and we are on board with one of our drivers, and it's LR Slimble, the newbie here in TTL F1. Hopefully going to be looking for a good performance here, the Brit out on track. And I know I've seen him in other leagues, and he is pretty quick, and I would imagine he would challenge some of the bigger rivals here tonight in Belgium, the likes of Chapelletti, the likes of Carlsberg. Hopefully we can see Slimbo do a good job. He hasn't validated on his out lap, he will though get an in lap in. We have got the first car out on track though, and it is VRT Chapelletti, the German, currently sitting in second in the standings. He's had a good run of form recently, actually, Chapelletti, and he's just behind Carlsberg. I mean, it is a big points difference. He's got a points difference to Dill Warren in third. Chapelletti could really excel, I think, here tonight. It is wet conditions. He prefers, I think, wet to dry. I see him do better in League of Europe, certainly, within intermediate conditions than in dry conditions, and I think that can reflect on his performance here tonight. Chapelletti could be maybe one of the ones to beat, I'm not sure. It is going to be quite an interesting session with the rain falling here at Belgium, at the longest track in the F1 calendar, over 7 kilometres long, and we will take you through that track map, of course, between qualifying and indeed the race, just to go through all of that. But Chapelletti is coming up towards the final couple of corners, and this is at the bus stop chicane, on the run towards La Source at turn 1, of course. DRS will initially be enabled. Chapelletti now preparing for his lap. Hits the bump, coming through the bus stop chicane at the final corner, and now runs down to start his lap. So the Williams man down towards the La Source hairpin at turn 1. Bricking just off the 100-metre board, getting a very nice tight turning in there through the 90-degree right-hander, and he's now on the run down through turn 2, and then on towards the Rouge and Radion, which of course Radion is at the top of the hill. Rouge is his first part, Radion the second part. Not taking it flat out, you've got to take it with a little bit of lift, I think, in the intermediate conditions. Chapelletti getting through there quite nicely, even with a bit of opposite lock. Chapelletti now coming towards the end of the first sector. Now towards Lecombe, another chicane, 31.6, he comes down the end of the Kemmel Straight towards Lecombe, and a good first sector there from Chapelletti. He now comes down through Lecombe and now down towards X corner, which is the next corner out on track. It's actually Brussels, and then it's X, and then it's Pouon. So Chapelletti now coming through here, looking very nice indeed. This is X corner, the left-hander. Halfway through the lap now for Chapelletti as he comes on the run down towards Pouon. Getting caught on the curb here will inevitably spin the car, and especially in these conditions it will be more potent even if you get on that white line. Chapelletti staying well avoided of that, and comes through Pouon very nice and safely indeed. So Chapelletti now on the run down to the final couple of corners in the middle sector just before Stavelot. So Chapelletti looking good, currently out on track, and the German, as I repeat, is second in the championship coming into tonight. Let's see what his middle sector is looking like. 124.5 through the middle sector for the German, taking it flat out through Stavelot. That's what you like to see, and Chapelletti now on the run towards Blanchemont. You can take this flat out in intermediate conditions, but by God don't, because you will end up spinning the car. He's down to the gear to make sure he gets through the corner, but that was flat out there from Chapelletti through Blanchemont, and now down to the bus stop chicane once again. Gets the car stopped just in time for the corner. Looking very nice through there, and Schiaparelli will come across the line. I think it's going to be a 55 possibly to begin off with. Schiaparelli across the line. Yeah, 55.1 right at the top there. Slimble looking quicker in behind though. Goes across the line, 56 flat. So he was 9 tenths off in the end. Got Cass just starting up on a lap. 56.3 from him actually for Cass. Carlsbury is coming through the middle sector. And then the middle sector, now through the final sector. Looks like he might have made a mistake actually out on track, because he looks a little bit inferior to some of these guys that have already set laps. Let's run on board them with Toxic in behind him, as he now comes through Blanchimont. Toxic coming into tonight in third position in the fourth position, sorry, in the standings. 51 points to his name. And again, recent form has been getting up there, and Toxic should try and prove that here tonight in Belgium. Comes around the final couple of corners. Going to be in between Schiaparelli and Slimbo, I think, with this lap. Toxic across the line. Yeah, 55.9 goes 8 tenths behind Schiaparelli. So the early trading blows here in Belgium. Schiaparelli currently out on top by 8 tenths of a second. But watch out for some of the guys coming onto the end of their laps, Navy included, as he now comes through Blanchimont, taking it very flat out. 185 mile an hour there, with a little bit of lift actually through there for Navy. Now running down into the braking zone, just braking just before the 100 metre board. You want to try and get as best a run as possible through the corner, and Navy ran the final corner. Looks like he got a poor run at the final corner there and goes 6th with a 57.5. So clearly didn't feel well with his car. Carlsbury has had a bit of a moment, I do believe. Oh, and Carlsbury's had a right spin coming out of Lecombe, and that is his right side end plate completely gone off the car. So Carlsbury has had right side end plate damage, and he's got to come back into the pits. The Finn looking a little bit. Oh, I'm trying to find the right word. Carlsbury just looking a little bit out of character, to be honest, I think, in these intermediate conditions. That's what I was trying to reflect that and try to put it as nice as possible. Thomas has rejoined the session, which is good to see. We're on board with Recon though, defending champion here in TTL F1, and Recon currently in 6th on 32 points. Has had a bit of a rough time of things in the last couple of weeks, but Recon now coming through as Rafa has gone quickest with a 54.5. Good to see Rafa back here after the League of Europe, after the QVR Nations Cup. Recon across the line goes third, just in behind Schiaparelli, and Carlsberg, championship leader, just comes in behind with a 54.4. So, how do you like them apples from Carlsberg? 54.4 out on track, and he's just over a 10.5 quicker than Rafa out on track. So Carlsberg on top, Rafa second, Schiaparelli in third, and that's pretty much the early trading blows here in qualifying done and dusted. And it looks like actually the rain might be just beginning to ease a little. Blue sky beginning to break out in the clouds, as you can see from the sky above. On board with one of TTG's newest recruits. Again, it's still Warren as he comes now through Brussels and X, and then down towards Pubon. Taking the grass there on the right hand side just to try and maximise the run into Pubon. Looking very nice through there, bit of opposite lock, but he recovers the car well and doesn't get himself caught on that white line. So Dill Warren now coming through the middle sector in the Mercedes currently second of course in the constructor standings, coming into tonight a little way behind Toro Rosso by 35 points, but Warren coming through the middle sector 24.7. I think that might be one of the quickest middle sectors that we've seen. I think the Gort might be round through the final couple of corners. There is certainly a Williams round in the final couple of corners, and I think it is Gort who has spun just in front. Dill Warren now through Blanchimont, taking it nice and flat through there. There was a Williams to the right hand side, and that was right, it was the Gort that was spinning, because of course Schiaparelli just came back at the pits. Oh, Dill brakes a little bit late for the corner, goes in a bit too deep, but comes around the final corner. Could go third with this possibly. Warren across the line goes 5th, 55.7. Just didn't get the full throttle down off the final corner of the bus stop chicane until Warren through La Source is in 5th position. So early trading blows are done. Carlsberg 154.4 out on top. Looks like he's coming back into the pits now. From Rafa in second, Schiaparelli in third, Toxic in fourth. Just as soon as I say that, Recon has just nicked up into third position with a 55 flat for Recon. So the Dutchman going a little bit quicker. Rain beginning to maybe get a little bit heavier actually out on track. Certainly coming down. But Recon has gone third there with a very nice lap out on track. Try and flick on board with somebody if we can. Let's go on board with Spike, who is on a lap now as he comes up towards Rouge and Radion, the top of the hill. Very fearsome hill this, if you've ever been to Belgium. The downward run is about 100 metres actually, so yeah, Spike now coming down the Camel Straight. Next to Dutch Corner, which is normally on the left-hand side. 32 flat from Spike on the first sector. Or in the first sector, I should say. You can hear the rub against the curve there from the car. And again, just cuts a little bit too much there, and Spike has invalidated, and of course he is driving with a damaged right hand, so anything that might affect his performance will be because of that. He struggled in TTL F2, I think it's fair to say, and hopefully he will be getting a little bit more exercise and a little bit more practice within that damaged right hand, and it's good to see that he's still trooping on. I remember when Dill Warren broke his wrist, I think it was, and he was driving, or broke his right arm, and he was driving around here in TTL F1, and he still was quite consistent. Spike will probably be around the same pace, I would think, in terms of that. Just seeing then, anybody on a lap. Dill Warren is coming back into the pit. Schiaparelli is back on a lap. So he's 2 tenths up through the first sector, and inevitably will try and improve ahead of Kalsper with 7 minutes to go roughly in this qualifying session. Kalsper on top, Rafa in second. If you are just tuning in to TTTV tonight, of course we are still in lockdown. It is the big night in, so why don't you tune in to TTTV for the big night in terms of sim racing and fantastic action. I'm sure these guys will provide. Schiaparelli is nearly all over the place coming out of P1 there, goodness me. Coming through the middle sector, down to mode 3 in EOS. When we talk about mode 3 in EOS, that is to put it in towards high mode. High mode, of course, will be EOS mode 4, which is just up to, funny enough, 4 tenths of a second quicker in the middle sector. And Purple through the middle sector, and he's out of control coming through Stavolo. Goodness me, that is still a valid lap. He can continue on, but I think he'll be coming back into the pits with that one. I'm sure there'll be a replay about that. Schiaparelli just got caught on the outside curb. Because the rain is coming down at a pace, it just really wettens the curbs, and Schiaparelli looks like actually he might be going for another lap, so he's up to back into EOS mode 4, and yeah, he is going to go for another lap, Schiaparelli, so we'll ride on board with somebody else in the meantime. Dill Warren we'll ride on board with 55.7 through the middle sector, the Mercedes, and his teammate currently Thomas on a lap, and in fact we'll go to Thomas because he is on a lap ahead of him out on track, so we'll cut on board with Thomas, and just as soon as we come on board with him he has invalidated his lap. So Lithuanian, again another one who participated in the KVR Nations Cup last week, and I think they did qualify but are not needed tonight. Ash Best I think is representing them, so Thomas ran the final corner to start off on a lap. So we'll cut back on board with our other Mercedes out on track, Dill Warren, and he's 6 tenths up, but it looks like he's made a mistake, and looking like he has got right side end plate damage. I wonder if he's caught that out of Stavolo. I think he has. Dill Warren probably right side end plate damage out of Stavolo. So he was 6 tenths up through the middle sector, not improving as he's coming back into the pits. YT coming through the middle sector. As the Alfa Romeo man looking, we've got Carlsberg back on a lap as well. Let's see what he's going to do. I think he's just coming into the pits actually, is Carlsberg. Yes, he is. So Lighty coming through Stavolo. There is a racing point just ahead, which will be PSC. It'll be Spike actually on a lap. We'll come through the final corner with him. The Spike across the line. Moving for a damaged right hand, that's not a bad lap. 56.3 out on track from Spike. Goes 10th. And qualifies well, which is good to see. Lighty, 6 tenths up through the middle sector. Now through the final sector, the German. Looks like it's going to be a 57 possibly for Lighty coming across the line. Yeah, 57 flat, pretty much dead on, and about 7 tenths off Spike, but improves over a second there on his time. So Lighty goes 11th. Gort on a lap. Thomas is now on a lap, so we'll go on board with the Lithuanian, as that is a car getting out of the way. Looks like a Williams. And Thomas coming through the middle sector. 23.8 through the middle sector. Probably one of the quickest middle sectors that we've seen. A little bit out of control coming through Stavolo, but well controlled in the end there from Thomas. It now comes up towards Blanchimont. Rafa goes quickest, 54 flat, so he goes quickest out on the timing screen. 4 minutes to go in qualifying. If you are just tuning in, you're really getting into the nitty-gritty part now of qualifying. Thomas coming around the final corner. Not banking on this. I think this could be a 53, you know. Kalsper with a 53.9. Thomas coming across the line. Goes short. 54.4 for Thomas goes third. So Kalsper responds to Rafa's lap. Purple in the final sector goes quickest compared to Rafa and goes to the top of the standings for now. Kelvin across the line with an invalid lap. Gort across the line, improves on his time by 5.5 tenths of a second and sets a 58.1 out there on track. Spike slightly improving. Cass across the line, I think improved to 56 flat. Just trying to pick up on board with anybody that might be going on a lap or is necessarily on a lap. Recon is, and I think we've got a couple of cars ahead of him out on track. We'll go on board, I think Toxic is on a lap. Pretty sure he's just started on one, and Calspur's there. I'm just trying to figure my way around, see who's coming through what corner, and try and pick out on who's going to be next across the line. I think Slimbo is possibly, but he's invalidated, so there's quite a cluster of cars actually coming through into that middle sector now. Cass is on a lap. I'm deciding who to go on board with here. Cosby's on an out lap. We've got the Mercedes on down laps, I think, as well. So Cass is on a lap. Honey Badger's probably thinking, why on earth are you... Keep the camera still, man. Cass coming through the middle sector. Looks like he's actually down on this lap time. So we'll go on board with the next car behind, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, is either Recon or Navy. Go on board with Recon and hope it's him. It is Recon that is behind, and Navy behind as well. So the two Renaults are just in behind. So we'll come on board with Navy now. Lighty retires from the session. Navy on an out lap. So we'll go back on board with the other Renault. Goodness me. It's like playing a game of The Price is Right, this. Recon, 0.2 of a second up through the middle sector. Can he improve ahead of Thomas, I wonder? Gets slipping from his teammate just ahead. Toxic is in behind on a lap. We'll cut to him quickly with Recon coming around the final couple of corners. Recon now. Ferrari getting out of the way. That'll be either Cass or Slimbo. Probably Slimbo, I would imagine. Recon through the final couple of corners. The Dutchman will improve. What time's it going to be? He's going to go ahead of Thomas with this. Oh, just shy, actually, of Thomas. 0.03 of a second off. Toxic around the final corner, improving 0.8. Could be one of the quickest here. Toxic across the line goes 5th, 54.6. Lost a little bit of time there in the final sector. Chapelelli is out of the session. He has gone through on the com. Let's run on board with somebody. Cass has just started up on lap. Slimbo was 300ths down. So we'll cut on board then with Dill Warren in the meantime, with a minute to go in qualifying. I think Rafa might be on a lap as well, further up the track. But Dill Warren coming through towards the Stavelil section, which will be the next section, of course, around through. PSE Kelvin retires from the session. Carlsbury having a bit of a mare. He is just coming in this gaggle of cars in behind in the middle sector. So we'll cut on board with Slimbo and then Carlsbury. 7/10 up there for Dill Warren. Purple in the middle sector, not the fastest middle sector that we've seen from anyone here tonight, but Dill Warren on the lap. Gort has retired from the session, so this is where the nitty gritty really comes into play. Calspur in the pit. He thinks he's done enough with a 53.9. I'm not so sure, you know. Dill Warren coming around the final couple of corners, and the Mercedes man again goes in a little bit too deep. Not as deep as what we rode on board with him last time. Warren coming around the final corner. Is he going to go quicker than Calspur at a lap final corner? No, he won't. 54.8 from him out on track. We've got Slimbo coming around the final couple of corners. He is on a down lap, so he is now going to go for that full lap out on track. Carlsbury, however, is coming around the final sector, and he's invalidated on his lap as well, and Carlsbury is done for the session, so Carlsbury not getting another run in. Rafa coming through the first sector has just made it. Recon 5,000 down coming through Blanchimont. Got Cass just in behind him as well out on track. Looks like it could be Calspurs to lose, to be honest. Recon around the final corner. Got to find a little bit of a time through here. Through the final corner. Doesn't find the time. He loses time, in fact, in comparison. After through the first sector. Cass across the line, 55.2. I think he improved on that. Spike, oh, goes for a right old spin through Puon even. Spike, goodness me. Spike going for a right old spin, coming round. Puon just got caught. I think maybe took a little bit too much speed there, to be honest. The Racing Point man is out. So Rafa is out of the session. Thomas is out of the session. It's only Slimbo that can do it then. Slimbo on a lap. Can the Ferrari man improve 2 seconds to beat Calspur? It looks unlikely, I think, to be honest, but you never know. You can count your lucky chickens just early. But Slimbo coming around the final couple of corners. 3-2-1, and now on the run towards Stavelot once again. Which, of course, is not this corner. I forget the name for this section. That's why I never mention in commentary. It's got a funny name. Slimbo now coming round in towards the Stavelot section, which is right-hander. This one coming up. 24.5 through the middle sector. I swear that was a bit off though. So Slimbo coming around the final couple of corners. On the run towards Blanchimont for the final time on a lap. And it is only Slimbo that can improve. Spike, of course, has just came in some pit. He'll retire in the pit lane. Slimbo around the final corner. About 10 seconds from here, normally in the wet, underneath the Rolex arch. Slimbo now coming around the final couple of corners. Looks like he might go in around Recon Toxic sort of area with this lap. Slimbo across the line goes 7th, just in behind Dill Warren, so not too far off where I predicted. 55 flat, but it is that man there, Carlsberg, who is in the pit lane. He has set the best time, 53.9 in qualifying, and nearly 2 tenths ahead of Rafa in second. Thomas in third, Recon in fourth, Toxic fifth, Dill Warren in sixth, Slimbo in 7th, with Schiaparelli in 8th position as well. We'll run down the rest of the grid as we see a beautiful back shot there of Navy's Renault in P13. So that is the end of qualifying. And I get a reward, 500 XP. That will be donated to Kevin McGinley right now. As we come to the end of qualifying, it is Carlsberg who takes it, 53.9 out on track, nearly 2 tenths ahead, as I say, from Rafa. Thomas on his return in third, with Recon in fourth, Toxic in fifth, Dill Warren in sixth, Slimbo in seventh, Schiaparelli in eighth, Cass in ninth, Spike rounding off the top 10. Tar Abu is in 11th, Norwegian. From Lighty in 12th position, Nevi in 13th, Gort in 14th, Kelvin and Carlsberg. Everyone setting times, which is good to see. That's what we like to see. But of course, if it is dry, the top 10 will start on a free range of tyres, as will the bottom 6 as well. It's not like qualifying. If it is like qualifying, it will be like the intermediate conditions where they do qualify on. But that is what we like to see. It's blue skies here at Belgium. So let me take a look then at the track map that we have got for you guys here tonight. 22 laps await the drivers out on track, 19 turns in total, a lap distance of 7 kilometres. That, in all terms, is 4.352 mile out on track. The race distance in total is 154 kilometres, or 95.7 miles, so they're going to be wrapping up the miles quite a lot here tonight as the countdown runs to 15 seconds. Lap record was set in Season 12, by then VSR Blizzard. Now CRG Blizzard, VSR Blizzard though back then set in Season 12, a 141.5. We didn't see anywhere near that lap time in qualifying. And the fastest lap of the race was set in Season 14. I think maybe one of my, not one of my first seasons, but certainly one of the first seasons that I watched within TTG. At TTG Jack, Season 14, a 144.8. So Jack with a 144.8, the fastest lap in the race. And that's what you're going to have to watch out for, I think, in terms of records here, as we get the formation lap underway. Carlsberg out on top, and it is very different to see some of the strategies that the guys have gone for out on track. Let's talk more then about these strategies. Only a certain percentage, a very small percentage of the field have gone soft compound of tyres. So that is Thomas, Slimbo, and interestingly, second in the championship, Schiaparelli. So that is going to be quite interesting to see how these get on. Thomas hopefully going to be trying to outpace Rafa and Carlsberg early on. He'll be hoping those softs can go quite a distance into the race, but normally when we speak about the tyre degradation around here in Belgium, I certainly think of the softs as wearing out 4 or 5 laps into their stint, and then guys pitting in probably 6 to 8 laps within their stint and going on to a set of hard compound of tyres for the end of the race. So one-stop strategy will be needed. Medium compound of tyres, well, that is Carlsberg, Rafa, Recon, Toxic, Dill Warren, Cass, Spike, Abu, Lighty, Navy, Gort, Kelvin and Carlsberg. Again, a big majority of the field going for medium compound of tyres. Arguably, I think, with it being a wet qualifying, I think the mediums might be the tyre to go on, and they can last for a longer time within the race. So we speak about when we come into the pit stops. Normally when you see the mediums, they can tend to degrade around 7 or 8 laps into the stint, and then pit maybe just before halfway, maybe just after halfway. It depends on how those tyres are wearing out on track. And those guys, of course, will aim to go to the set of soft compound of tyres, which will hopefully get them towards the end of the race. But with it being a 7-kilometre track, tyre degradation around here is quite vital. They wear off sometimes 5-6% on the set of soft compound of tyres. On a set of mediums, it's not too bad. It's around 4% in terms of tyre degradation around here. So imagine 22 laps. If these guys were to do 22 laps and get disqualified at the end of lap 21, then obviously that wouldn't be the wisest plan to do. As they come now through the final couple of corners, I'm going to put a big prediction out there for my top 3. I'm going to go Kalsper for the win. I think he might just have the pace off the start and try and hold up Thomas early on, coming up towards Lecombe especially. Second for me, I'm going to go for Thomas. I think on his return he's going to be quite strong, the Lithuanian, and hoping to gain advantage in the point scoring and for Mercedes as well. And in third, I'm going to have to go for Schiaparelli in 8th position. I think he might just have one of those good races. He's in 8th, he's right down, dead in the middle of the field, but he's on a set of soft compound tyres, and the more positions he makes up early, the more it will be telling towards the end of the race. So we are just moments away then from the 5 red lights to go out here in Belgium. This is round 6 of the championship here in TTL F1. Hang on to your hats because it's going to be a wild one. Lights out and away we go. Kalsper gets a very good start from Rafa in second, Thomas in third as they come down towards the source for turn 1. 4 wide in the background. Kelvin Navy, Carlsbury involved in that. Kalsper through turn 1. A little bit of a Williams sideways there. I think that was Schiaparelli sideways. Might have had contact with Light T. But down the hill it's 2 by 2 between Rafa and Thomas. And Rafa just about stays ahead of Thomas. Coming through Radion for the first time. Recon, Toxic. That was Dil Warren I think going wide there as well. And he's now under pressure. Was Toxic going wide compared to him. Spike's got a 5-second time penalty, but all clean further down the field. It's Kalsper who leads from Rafa in second. There was a little bit of front wing I think just came off one of the cars there. Thomas in third, Recon fourth, Dil Warren in fifth, Toxic in sixth. They've got a little bit of a gap early to Slimbo in seventh, who's on a set of soft compound tyres. Schiaparelli's had a dreadful start there down in 11th position, but on settling down, very clean start by a majority of the field. Not sure what happened further back, but Kalsper beginning to get away. And what Rafa is trying to do at this point is let Thomas try and get close to him for the overtake, but he's on a set of soft compound tyres, and the more that Rafa holds him up, the more Kalsper will pull away out in front. But Kalsper arguably just getting a bit of a poor run at of Puon as he now comes through towards Stavolo for the first time. It is Kalsper who leads by 3.5 tenths of a second from Rafa in second, Thomas in third, Recon fourth, Dil Warren in fifth, Toxic in sixth. On the set of soft compound tyres, Slimbo in seventh. He's right on the back as Toxic tries to look around the outside there, but he could be quite potent here on the inside line. Slimbo going to go side by side through Blanchimont. I never recommend this at all, and I think Slimbo is going to give Toxic the right of way of the track, but he is right on the back of him here as he comes towards the bus stop chicane for the first time. Could try and go around the outside. Toxic positioning his car away that Slimbo can't get past around the outside. Schiaparelli has got a good move going here around the outside. Cass just catching the curve on the inside line, and Schiaparelli going off track there and rejoins safely just in behind Cass. Nobody has picked up front wing damage on the first lap, so on review on the first lap, a very, very good lap indeed. Kalsper leads from Rafa in second. Thomas has just dropped a little way off. He's in third from Recon in fourth, Dil Warren in fifth. But look at Toxic, literally glued together. These two have been at the end of lap 1 and now running down. You can see that Mercedes, but you can see actually no DRS down the straight until lap 3 and down until the camel straight down lap 3. Schiaparelli is in the meantime on the back of Cass, running down on the inside. Schiaparelli dives it down the inside and gets Cass out of his way. So Schiaparelli is through. Nice late braking move there from the German, and he's through and he's up into 9th position, and he is now hopefully going to be on the warpath through the field on that sort of soft compound tyres early on. Kalsper low, still maintaining that lead to 4 tenths of a second from Rafa. Thomas not using those softs to the greatest advantage possible. He's still in third. Recon is in fourth. As you ride on board though, Toxic and Dil Warren, they're still pretty much glued together, these two. And the two Brits, 5th and 6th. Mercedes against Red Bull here coming into tonight. It is side by side though. Cass trying to go all the way around the outside. Now to the inside line. He can't possibly do this, can he? On a set of mediums. Schiaparelli not giving them right away of the road there. And now through Stavolo. Schiaparelli shows who's boss and he maintains the position. But those softs are clearly going off, and Dil Warren has had a moment somewhere out on track. So Dil Warren has lost a bit of front wing, and that's right side end plate damage, clipping with the wall I think at Stavolo. Carlsbury trying to go around the outside, and he's made a terrific start actually. All the way around the outside of Blanchimont. What a move that is from Carlsbury. Right on the back now of Schiaparelli, and Schiaparelli now under pressure. Could he get a 2 for 1 into bus stop? Can he get the move done? He can't. Dil Warren into the pits as a result of front wing damage. Didn't catch on board with what happened, but it looked like right side end plate damage with the front wing at Stavolo, I would imagine. Cosby on the back of Schiaparelli, not going to get the 2-for-1 done, and in fact he goes right into the back of him, and it's going to cause a right Constantino effect in behind. I don't know how nobody else was caught up in that, to be honest, but he lets him go, and everyone quite respectful in behind, and they let Cosby go, but Cass is trying to take advantage, down, side by side through Rouge and Radion, trying to get the move done, but Cass inevitably going to lose that. You cannot go side by side through Rouge and Radion, and Cass has spun pretty much out of contention there. In the meantime, battle for the lead hard enough. Kalsper, Rafa and Thomas, 0.5 of a second separating the top three. There's a lot going on. I wish I had Kieran alongside me in the commentary box, because this is going to be a wild race of overtaking and passing out on track. Kalsper Low leads the way, getting very close to the wall there. Through X corner was Rafa, he's still in second, but Thomas trying to take advantage. He's down the inside line. That inside line is going to be like the parting of the Red Sea possibly for Thomas. But he downs his EOS and puts Rafa under a little bit of pressure, and Thomas in fact just putting himself under a little bit of pressure there. Recon is sticking with them and having a much better race than last week in Hungary, and he's in fourth currently out on track, and he's right on the back of this pack. Abu and Carlsbury having a bit of a side-by-side contact moment here, and the side-by-side actually coming through. Carlsbury's on the inside line, gets the move done, so Carlsbury through. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like Kelvin has spun round, so Kelvin has spun round, getting very close to the wall here, and it's side-by-side between Lighty and Tar Abu, running up towards Blanchimont, and it's side-by-side between Carlsbury and Chapelletti, again leaning on each other a little bit. Carlsbury on the inside line, Chapelletti on the outside line. They force each other off. Goodness me, I can't keep control of the cars, and Carlsbury and Chapelletti, and that is probably one of the worst crashes that you might ever see. Chapelletti and Carlsbury, I'm not really sure what both of them were thinking there. Carlsbury on the inside line, Chapelletti on the outside line. To be honest, right away the corner really prevails. Recon has gone through on Thomas as well. Carlsbury out of the race. Sure will be a replay camera on that. I do apologise, the shoddy camera work there was awful, but Thomas on the back now of Recon. This is for third and fourth position. Chapelletti is retired in the pit lane. Kalsper leading, 0.5 of a second. Rafa in second, and now Thomas down the inside line on Recon. Recon gives him right away, but Thomas never going to pull that one off. He's into the wall. He's got right side end plate damage, and again, just a little bit of over-aggressive racing costing a few guys out on track. Kalsper leads. 0.5 of a second from Rafa in second. Thomas has retired out of the race as well. Again, not really sure what he was thinking there, to be honest. Recon though in third, Toxic now in fourth, and all of this is beginning to let Slimbo back into play. He's on a set of soft compounded tyres, and he in fact is one of the only soft compounded tyre runners out on track now. Except from Dilborn, who's already been into the pits to replace front wing damage. He's the only one that started on this set of soft compounded tyres who is still in the race. So Slimbo currently in 5th position. Carlsberg currently leading, Rafa in second, Recon now in third, and still that top 3 battle looking to be quite potent, I think, out on track. Just going to tune into the comment section, see what you guys have been making of that, and see what you guys have really thought of the action so far out on track. Conti's saying, what happened to Navy? Yeah, Navy out of the race. It looked like he got caught up in a little bit of contact, possibly. I think he was the chief sufferer in the Chapelletti-Carlsbury incident. Coming through Blanchimont, Chapelletti backed onto the track, I think, and then Navy was unfortunately in the wrong position at the wrong time. I did catch it on the stream if you do want to go back there, Conti, and have a look. I think it was probably about 5 or 10 minutes ago in between that time frame. But in the meantime, we can focus on the action out on track. It is Kalsper who leads the way, from Rafa in second. Nobody looking close enough, I don't think, for the move down the Camel Straight. And all of this has just really opened the race up a little bit. 2 guys that might not necessarily get a good result. They will be getting a good result now after what has happened out on track. Kalsper leading, Rafa in second. I'm going to cut on board though with Light T, who's in the slipstream and on the back of Tar Abbey, running down the straight. Look at the closing speed. Here comes the German down the inside. The Norwegian will give him room. That's how you go side by side through the corner, and that is how you could take the overcut round the outside. Tar Abu really parking the car there. Light T wanting to go a little bit quicker through the corner, but Tar Abu having none of that, and good defensive driving there by the Red Bull man, and this could be quite a tasty battle, I think, between these two. Tar Abu and Light T, and Toxic I think is round through Puon. He is. Toxic is round through Puon. Looks like he got caught on the inside curve, possibly forced out onto the outside. So Toxic is round. Again, not sure what happened on board there, but Toxic is round, and he's in 6th position. So a lot of mistakes, a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes here in TTL F1 tonight. Dill Warren is on the back of Kelvin, and that's down the inside through Puon, and that is a good move actually by Warren. both keeping side by side through Pouron. Well done to them both, and Warren is through, and he's up into 10th position. But again, remember, he will have to pit again out on track. Carlsberg under pressure now from Rafa. And maybe Carlsberg hasn't felt pressure like this before. And coming into tonight, he's taken 3 out of the last 4 wins. Ash Best, the only other winner in the last 4 races, is not here tonight. So Carlsberg hoping he can continue his fine record and continue that march for the championship out on track tonight. Rafa, though, might be on the back of him, and I've got to say Rafa is having a great race so far. The German 3.5 tenths off, and now here comes Rafa on the back of Carlsberg running down the Kemmel straight. Carlsberg leads, Rafa a second, but this is going to be side by side until they come. He is going to go for the move down the inside. Carlsberg will give him right away at the corner, but Carlsberg has got the good defensive driving move done. Carlsberg still maintains the lead of the race, but look at how much Recon has built up. We go back on board with Recon. Rafa trying to go for the switchback down the inside line. Carlsberg actually getting caught on the inside curve there, making a slight mistake, and that gives Rafa and Recon a big opportunity. Recon, 3-second time penalty there, just got a little bit slower for his liking, I think, through there, but Recon now on the back, and it's 5/10 of a second separating the lead of the race out on track. It is Carlsberg who leads still from Rafa in second. Recon currently in third. And I've got to say, what has been a great race so far, and in terms of the action out on track, the physical action and the overtaking out on track, obviously with the bits of contact we can forget about them, but in whole, this battle for first, second and third for the podium places is really heating up, and this is what you guys like to see on the big night in. If you're watching on board with us in TTTV, then we welcome you, as Rafa is right on the back of Carlsberg. Coming round, he's going to go round the outside here through the bus stop chicane possibly, all on a set of mediums, and Rafa actually gets the move done. But was that before the braking point there? Was that before the DRS detection zone for Carlsberg? Carlsberg, no it wasn't. I think neither of them got it. No, Rafa did. Rafa did get DRS, so Carlsberg thinking that the DRS detection point was there after the bus stop chicane. It wasn't, it was before the bus stop chicane. He tried to play it tactically, but he's going to try and get the tactical run now up through a Rouge and Radion to try and get that move done back for the lead of the race. Recon is right on the back as well. Rafa just taking a little bit of inside curve there, but Carlsberg is a lot closer this time. Carlsberg trying to go around the outside to reclaim the lead of the race, and Rafa just gives him right away the road. He's not fighting that one, and the Brit sails through. So the championship leader back through out in front is Carlsberg who leads, Rafa in second, Recon in third. It's how they were in TTL F1. Recon just taking a little bit of curve there, actually out on track and going into the gravel slightly. Carlsberg currently leading the way, Rafa in second, Recon in third. But battles also happening further down the field, or one battle beginning to happen further down the field, is that gap between Tar Abu and Lighty, and that gap in fact is just extended back out to 9/10 of a second out on track. So Lighty just losing the time there, so we'll go back on board with the battle for the lead. Carlsberg leading, Rafa second, Recon in third. We are more than a quarter of the way through this race now here in Belgium. If you are liking the action out on track and you're liking the commentary, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and tick that notification bell, of course, if you are new as well. We've got plenty of action up and coming. I know TTL F1 League 2 is up tomorrow night, I should say, and I'm going to be taking you through that one alongside Paco Suarez, who will be joining me for that, hopefully with a good connection, as he proved last week without his connection, and he wasn't with me last week, so hopefully we can have him back next week or this week I should say, for the action out on track here in Belgium. Carlsberg leading the way though, down towards the source once again. On to lap 8 we go. He leads from Rafa in second, Recon in third. Slimbo hasn't really gained on these guys because the front three are just so intertwined with each other and they're just gaining time. They're battling each other, but they're pulling away from Slimbo, and those softs can only last so long out on track, and that's probably why Slimbo is probably feeling the degradation performance down on those set of softs, and that's why he's not closing in. Speaking of closing in though, here comes Rafa, Warren with the new fastest lap of the race as well. Rafa to the outside line, Carlsberg to the inside line. Rafa just down to DRS there before Lecom, and Rafa holds on into second place and doesn't want to attack the leader for now. It's Carlsberg leading the way from Rafa in second and Recon in third. Lighty, by the way, has dropped off at the back of Tar Abu. And with all of this going on, actually, Warren is beginning to sneak himself into contention for a top 5 finish. Down in P10, everyone's still yet to pit ahead of him. Warren could be in the net lead of the race possibly when this is all over. 26.1 seconds. The pit stops around here, I think, around 22 seconds if I'm not mistaken. So So Carlsberg, Rafa and Recon hold that advantage currently. Slimbo though, in terms of Bill Warren, will be quite close I think when they come out, or when Warren comes round the final couple of corners, and Slimbo obviously will pit in. And that is where we will see the difference between Slimbo and Warren. That advantage will be the one to look out for, I think, in terms of the battle for a next position. Carlsberg though, leading the way through Blanchimont once again. Rafa in second, Recon in third position. Again, Rafa getting close. Breaking later, Recon breaking later than both of them. He's close right up to the back through bus stop, but just really shows himself up from straight line performance into the corner there. So currently out on track, Recon in third, but he's gaining the speed through the corners. He's just losing it down the straight, and Recon just looks like a little bit flat-footed, a little bit lethargic, if I've got to be honest, down the straight in that Renault. Might have seduced, that's the wrong word, might have swapped the straight line speed for the cornering, but here comes Rafa on the back of Carlsberg. Gonna get the inside line now, and Carlsberg will let him through, I think, here. Rafa is into the lead of the race. Good move there by Rafa. Both of them fighting cleanly, fighting fairly. That is how you take Lecombe side by side, and Rafa is through, and he's into the lead of the race from Carlsberg in second, and now Recon in third. Trying to have a look at the inside there. Carlsberg just locked up. But now through X corner once again, Rafa leads, and I've got to say we are flying through this race. It's already towards the end of lap 9, halfway through lap 9 if you are being picky, of course. Rafa leading the way, Carlsberg second, Recon in third. Hopefully everyone, as I say, enjoying the action out on track that we have for you. And as I say, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and of course stay at home, protect the NHS, protect your thingy as well, and then save lives, as that is Rafa and Carlsberg having a bit of a dice through there. But in the meantime, Rafa 2/10 of a second from Carlsberg in second, and Recon in third position. But now Recon on the back, and look at him on the back now of Carlsberg out on track. Recon trying to go around the outside. Carlsberg and Rafa, a bit of lag. I think I'm running my iPad right next to me. I don't want a connection downfall. But Rafa across the line to start lap 10. Carlsberg second, Recon in third. Slimbo, by the way, is into the pits. So Slimbo, the first of the main ones to come into the pits. And out on track is it is very much going good, I think, out on track tonight. Recon in third position, but Carlsberg on the back of Rafa. Remember, Carlsberg coming into this race, 3 wins out of the last 4 races were Carlsberg's. Ashbest, the only other one to retake in Britain. He won the race in Britain. Recon to the inside then on Rafa. Trying to go for the move. Oh, the leaders make contact! Carlsberg, Recon around! Front 3, contact. Recon in the lead of the race. Rafa trying to go down the inside, I think, on Carlsberg that was. And it's just a move done too much. Carlsberg and Rafa make contact. Recon caught up in the wrong position at the wrong time. He's taken full advantage. He leads the lead of the race. Rafa and Carlsberg, I don't think they're going to be sharing words with each other. I guarantee you that as a result of contact there at Lecombe. Little bit patience, I think, has got to just be the prevalent here tonight. Carlsberg's on the back of Recon. Carlsberg luckily hasn't picked up any front wing damage as a result of his go into the wall. But now Carlsberg trying to get onto the back. I think Rafa actually reversed out, and I'm not sure, but Carlsberg might have had the reset to track. I'm not sure. Don't take that on face value. That's what might have happened. I'm not sure. And Recon is not happy with that. Weaving down the straight, he is not happy with that collision. And now Carlsberg is on the back of Recon, and Recon has got to try and find some moves here. So that is now Recon into the pits. And Spike has had a moment through Blanchimont. So Spike now down into P4, but he's having a remarkable race actually, is Spike. Lighty is on the back of Tar Abu as well, trying to go around the outside here. The German on the back of the Norwegian, and the German in fact comes into the pit lane. So Recon in, Spike in, and Lighty in. Slimbo, by the way, that contact has done him the world of good. It could lead him into the lead of the race. Slimbo is going to be well ahead of Recon. He's going to replace his front wing damage, and the gap between the lead and Slimbo is probably around 17 seconds. It's 17 seconds dead on between Carlsberg and Slimbo out on track. So that contact through Lecombe costly Carlsberg costly for Rafa, but has gained Slimbo a possible, really unlikely opportunity, I think, not to take anything away from him, but with that contact, it's now given him that little bit of luck to get him into the net lead of the race out on track. Dill Warren as well, he's going to be liking this as well. He came into the pits early as a result of front wing damage through Stavilo, and he's currently in 7th position out on track. Dill Warren, though, in the meantime, going well. But Gort currently in 6th position, Dill Warren in 7th, and this is battle for 6th and 7th, as I say. Williams against Mercedes out on track. Warren, though, coming around the final, well, through Pouon once again, and we are now halfway through here in Belgium. It is Kalsberg leading from Toxic in 2nd, Rafa in 3rd, Tar Abu now in 4th. So Rafa struggling to gain into a rhythm after that contact. Meantime, the battle you're on board with is between Gort and Dill Warren. As now the soft compounder runner. Warren tries to catch onto the back of Gort. Gort will have to come into the pits, but is driving very well. Looks like Rafa then has let Tar Abu through. Around the outside, that was through Blanchelon. So Abu is through and he's up into 3rd. And I think Rafa will be coming into the pits this lap. Right side end plate, left side end plate damage, you can see on that car. And Rafa then is into the pits from 4th position out on track. So Rafa into the pits. Just having a look on board with what Honey Badger is sending me, by the way, through Discord. I'll just have a look at that now. So, we'll go on board then with the leader of the race. It is Kalsberg out on track, and there is the man in front out on track. I know we're going to miss a bit of a battle between Dilwon and Recon, but we want to show up a little bit of fancy graphics for you guys out on track. So Kalsberg leading the race. As I say, for last three out of the last 4 races, I should say, Kalsberg has won. And in terms of tonight's race, with that bit of contact that they come, will Kalsberg take the win here tonight, or will it be Slimbo, the unlikely party, to try and take the win of the race? Just to speak about, by the way, Warren and Recon have both got through on Gort. That was for 5th and 6th position. Let's be right on board then with Kalsberg. I'm just going to shut my curtains for a little bit. It is coming very dark here in my room, like transferring from night to day, like we're in Bahrain again. But Kalsberg leading the race from Toxic in 2nd position. That's better. Abu in 3rd, Slimbo in 4th position, and there is the man, Kalsberg, out on track. Still yet to come into the pit, remember, and so also man out on track. So Kalsberg leading the race, from Toxic in 2nd, Abu 3rd, Slimbo in 4th position, Recon now and Warren side by side through Blanchimon. Just to come on board with this battle, Recon and Warren, 5th and 6th position. Cass is in behind Kelvin as well, so I think he had a bit of front wing damage. So Recon then leading through bus stop chicane and is pulling away actually now from Warren. So Recon got the move done on Warren, and a 46.3 backs that up out on track. It's 3.7 seconds really, if you think about it, the net lead of the race. So Slimbo currently in 4th position. And there is the man chasing down Tar Abu out on track, the Norwegian against Slimbo. And the Brit trying to close in here, the Ferrari man. Slimbo is on the back of Tar Abu. This is the 3rd and 4th position out on track. Slimbo trying to get through. Tar Abu's gone a little bit too deep through the corner. Slimbo wide out line, deep into the corner. Warren, by the way, got past Recon again. So that's through up to P5 for Warren. Oh, Abu nearly clipping the wall there through X. And now on the run down towards Pouon once again. Slimbo, Tar Abu, look at the gap that now Slimbo is pulled to Tar Abu. It's now less than a tenth of a second. Is he going to go down the inside line here, down into the next section of the track? No, he's not. Through the next couple of corners, now coming towards Stavilo, and this is up through turns 14 and 15. Oh, and Slimbo having a right moment there. Goodness me, good recovery there from Slimbo as we run on board with him. A bit of snap of oversteer from the Brit. Kalsberg then is into the lead, is into the pitch on the lead of the race. So this is the real telling factor. Where is Kalsberg going to come out in track in terms of Slimbo out on track? Tar Abu will be hoping that he can hold Slimbo up for as long as possible. Kalsberg now into his pit box. So, Slimble released. Abu is into the pit as well. Calspert coming out of the pit. It looks like to me as if he's going to be out in front. Calspert, there is Slimble coming through turn 1. This is going to be quite close. Calspert eventually coming out on top though. On a set of soft compound of tyres, Slimble not making those mediums last. And 1.2 seconds is the gap coming out of the pit lane. But now Recon is through on Dill Warren again. We come through, and that was Dill Warren just letting him through there purely out on track. He's surely not going to commit that far on a lap. Abu, by the way, and the Gort have both came in. Rafa, in the meantime, is on the back. So Rafa on the back of Lighty. Two Germans going out on track, and Rafa looking to make mincemeat of Lighty down the straight, and already this is job done. Lighty running down towards the com, and you can see as we come out of the camera now, that is the move done for Rafa. So that is through. And he's through, sorry, and he's up into P6 out on track. Fantastic racing though between Rafa and Lighty there, which is good to see. That's what we appreciate in TTL. But Rafa on the back. Rafa, remember, did take the race win in... Or did he take the race win? I think he took the qualifying pole position. Yeah, he took the pole position in Britain. So Rafa took the pole position in Britain, and obviously hoping that he can try and prove out to be a good result here tonight. Rafa is trying to do the same once again, this time in the race to try and gain positions. And he's currently in 6th and on fresher tyres, so hopefully looking out on track 8.5 tenths of a second. I will, if nothing happens out on track, by the way, I am going to run through the penalties a little bit earlier, so maybe within the last 5 laps of the race. Warren is into the pits though from 4th position out on track. So just to clarify on that, I will run through the penalties at some point, probably within the next few laps or so, if there's no battles out on track. But however, Calspert coming out of the pits. Let's see where he's going to go. Or where he's going to come out of, in fact. I think he's going to be out behind Tar Abu here, and in clear air for Dill Warren. So Warren now coming out of the pit lane. But Dill Warren out of the pit lane, yeah. So behind Tar Abu, as I predicted, and out in a bit of clear air as well, which is what it's going to be appreciative, I think, for Dill Warren out on track. It's 2.1 seconds now, the gap between himself and Abu, but on slightly fresher tyres, Warren should have the pace to try and close in out on track. Cass, in the meantime, is on the back of Kelvin. This is what I like to call the wooden spoon, but there is no wooden spoon, of course, here in TTL F1. Cass is on the back of Kelvin, and just taking a much flatter line through there. Cass compared to Kelvin, you can see the closing speed. It's on a set of 11 lap old hard compound of tyres, hopefully going to try and get those to the end of the race. Kelvin, though, in the meantime, is going to stay in 11th position. And just to speak about Kelvin a little bit as well, PSC, the Portuguese team that he runs for, has signed up for the mini league as well, which I can confirm will start next month. I will get the dates on that at the end of the stream, but mini league will be back next month. On track, oh, and Kelvin into the wall, right side end plate damage. Took too much speed through there on a set of soft compound of tyres. Right side end plate damage. You can see the turning in now. He's got to try and recover the car, but this is going to be cast through, and Kelvin just lets him through. Rightfully so, I think. Kelvin now going to be limping with right side end plate damage on that racing point and clipping the wall. Just taking a bit too much speed through there. Clip the wall, and that is his right side end plate damage off, and that is his chase for 11th position gone, I think, with that as well. Calspert, by the way, leading 4.3 seconds as we approach the last lap out on track, lap 16 out of 22. Slimbo in second, Recon in third. The battle you're on board with, though, is between Abu and Lighty. And for Abu, he's only joined TTL over the last couple of weeks, and he's now on the back of Lighty, who again is looking quite vulnerable here. Looking like a sitting duck running down the straight, and you can tell with the straight line speed that Abu is going to get this move done, and he's even passed before the 100-metre marker down into Lecombe, and Abu is through, and he's up into P6. A very nice move out on track. Kelvin into the pit lane, retires in the pits. Unfortunate for him, unfortunate really timing. He was going quite well in 11th. He just picked up that right side end plate damage at the wrong place at the wrong time. Unfortunately, he's out of the race. So that adds now to the list of retirements that we have out on track. Mainly, some of them down to the contact that was made earlier on within the race. Recon on the back of Slimbo. This is for second position. Defending champion coming into tonight and this season, of course, Recon. And Slimbo's just looking a little bit vulnerable running down here. I wonder if he's running no ERS down the straight. And Recon feels like he has the speed to go right around the outside here with bus stop. Recon and Slimbo side by side, and Recon's got the move done. Down into bus stop. Clean sailing move. And he's in fact coming into the pits. So Recon is into the pits. I don't know why. Why on earth would he do that? 10-lap-old. It would be on 10-lap-old softs. That is a very weird one for me. I've never seen that before. A driver going for the move, and Recon is into the pit on a set of soft compound of tyres. And he's going to be out in traffic as well. Questionable decision there from Recon. But he's now coming out of the pits and probably going to be out ahead, just about ahead of Tar Abu, who's coming through turn 1. And yeah, Recon will be joined just in front. So Recon now out in 5th position. I wonder actually if that was to do with regulation on the tyres. So Recon, I think if I recall, was on a set of mediums. He then was on a set of mediums and now gone on a set of softs. I wonder what has that's what's happened there to protect the regulations. That is why Recon is now on a set of softs. And he's now under pressure from Tar Abu to the outside line now. For the Norwegian, right around the outside on Recon. Good move there by Tar Abu. Sadly the cameras didn't really catch it, but Tar Abu is through. Recon on the back, trying to get the move done now, down in towards Brussels corner, and Recon is down the inside line. Tar Abu on the outside line, but Recon was always going to have that one down the inside. He goes, and he's back up into 5th position and makes pay of that move. Oh, and he nearly goes into the wall, coming out of X. Goodness me, Recon through, and he's up into P5, but very close to the wall. Could have been another Kelvin situation there out on track. Dill Warren, another one getting involved. I did mention, by the way, earlier on within the race that Dill Warren could have a top 5 finish. Well, he's not too far away from that. He is about 5-6 seconds behind Rafa in P4. Recon is just ahead of him by about 1.3 seconds out on track. Warren is, however, on the back of Tar Abu, and this could be quite potent. I think he's got to try and use up the ERS now to try and get the move done down towards bus stop, and then to try and force Abu into a bit of mistake and essentially lure him into a false sense of security out on track. That's how you really tell the men from the boys out on track here in TTL F1. Warren though on the back. Lap 18 out of 22. This race has absolutely flown over. Kalsper leads the way from Slimbo in 2nd. Toxic now in 3rd. Rafa in 4th. Recon in 5th after his questionable pit stop. But I think again that was down to regulations more than anything else. Warren then is on the back of Abu. This is for 6th and 7th. Lighty, Gort and Spike fighting out for the top 10. Spike and Gort currently in 9th and 10th. But now look at the speed of Dill Warren as he takes a 3-second time penalty through there. But he's on the back and going to go past down the Kemmel straight, past Dutch corner and past the Dutch fans. And Warren is through. He's through. He's up into P6 out on track, and we've got the Gort battling out with Spike, who is still commendably driving on with his right side, with his damaged right hand, of course. Gort in P9 gets the move done. So, with that all being done, and with that all being said, let's have a rundown of the penalties so we can get the winner graphic up at the end of the race, of course. Kalsper has picked up no penalties whatsoever, so good stuff from Kalsper. Slimbo has picked up 2 warnings, good stuff from him. Toxic, a penalty picked up earlier on within the race, but has picked up nothing since. Rafa has picked up a penalty, that was on the last lap there. Recon has picked up a penalty, so currently top 2 are quite even. They haven't picked up any penalties. Dill Warren has picked up 2 penalties, including on that lap. Abu has picked up a penalty, that was on the penultimate lap there. Lighty has picked up 3 penalties, just got to be careful with his warnings as well. Gort has picked up a penalty. Spike, 5-second time penalty and a penalty. I think he served up the 5 seconds though, and a penalty for Spike as well on the final lap there. Cass with a penalty, and Calvin out of the race, and that is it from the penalties rundown out on track. And Toxic is on the back of Slimbo as a result. Warren, new fastest lap of the race, 44.8, but now Toxic eyeing up Slimbo for the move. The 2 Brits are going to go side by side. It's Livid racing against TTG, but I think Toxic knows he's not going to get the closing speed down into the chicane at Lacombe, and Toxic will have to hang on for P3 for now. Spike, by the way, is into the pits from 10th position. He's going to go and respond to Warren's fastest lap of the race. So Spike out of the pit lane. Cass is going to come right out behind him, I think, so that's good to see. Spike will be out in P10 and in a point scoring position as he rejoins on the mini-map, as you can see, ahead of Cass. But you would imagine actually that Toxic would not be getting closer to Slimbo. You would favour the mediums at this stage of the race. The softs though beginning to come into play, and Toxic is really beginning to size this up. Remember, he's got penalties. Slimbo hasn't, as far as I'm aware of that latest penalties rundown. So Slimbo currently in second, Toxic in third. But Toxic on the back of Slimbo, and it's now just gapped out to 0.5 of a second coming through Stavalo, and again the downing of the ERS there for Toxic. Slimbo in the meantime is in second. Toxic maybe beginning to feel Slimbo is on his last legs in that Ferrari, the Tifosi car against the Red Bull. Of course, Aston Martin going to become a big part of the Formula 1 going forward. Hopefully we get a full season, of course, this season with the coronavirus going on out in the real world. Toxic on the back low of Slimbo. This is down into the source. He's not going to go for the move here. I never see a move actually get pulled off there at the source. It's always the driver going down the inside who will be at the worst placed position, because the traction is always on the outside of the corner. Slimbo in second. Toxic though driving well. Driving very well indeed, and he's now on the back of Slimbo. Slimbo, I've got to say, commend him for his debut performance. Maybe getting the driver of the day here, but Toxic has gone through on him down the Kemmel straight. And look at the straight line speed difference running down the straight. Toxic is through, and he's up into second position. We'll be right on board then with him completing that move. Toxic through on Slimbo, but Slimbo will try and battle back. He's 4/10 off at this stage of the race. Toxic, by the way, coming into tonight, was in fourth, coming into the standings on 51 points. So he is going to be gaining on his nearest rivals, Dill Warren and Chapelelli, because they have not picked up, or certainly in Chapelelli's case, he is DNF'd, Thomas is DNF'd, Dill Warren is in sixth. Toxic is going to be gaining on points and going to be ahead of these guys, possibly within the standings, all being well on penalties. But Toxic now really beginning to pull away on Slimbo, and that was for P2, of course, that move. We ride back on board then with Kalspur out on track, and a fantastic performance from Kalspur once again. Caught up in that contact again. Not sure if he reversed out of the pit lane. I didn't really out of Lecom when he had the contact, of course, with Rafa. Not sure if Kalspur had reset to track. It's something I'm sure you guys will be looking at. The stewards will be looking at certainly in the not too distant future. Kalspur leading on to the penultimate lap of the race. It has been a pure domination from him out on track, and he is set to be your winner out on track as well. All being well, and touch wood, I've not given the commentator's curse there. Out on track, Kalspur hopefully going to be 9.1 seconds ahead of Toxic now. Dan Lacomi comes, and a 10th up through the first sector actually from Kalspur, going quicker than his personal best. Comes the fastest lap, by the way, 44.8 for Dill Warren out on track. So Spike is going to try and beat that, and he's currently in 9th position, and we'll go on board with him actually. He's just round the final corner, and Spike coming across the line now, 44.8, he beats it, 44.7. It's like qualifying all over again. Should be focusing on this, I should be focusing on the battles out on track. Well, there is not really any battles, so Spike taking the fastest lap of the race. Kalspur 10th and a half up, coming halfway through the middle sector now. Toxic, 3-second time penalty. That's going to be costly. If he picks up another one, he's going to be back within range of Rafa possibly out on track. Driving well though is Toxic. Currently, as I say, in fourth coming into the standings tonight. And again, he was unlucky in TTL F2. Blizzard really gave him a great race out on track. Blizzard really drove a great race out on track in TTL F2. But Toxic is gaining the form again in TTL F1. He's just got to carry that consistency through, and especially so with the 24 Hours of F1 event coming up this weekend, which I, of course, will be commentating on at my early morning stint of 10 till 12 on the 24 Hours of F1 Twitch. So I'm going to be joining, of course, Jekyll with that one. We're on to the final lap of the race, though, in the meantime. I'll speak about that at the end of the stream. I think Kalspur can probably take it easy, to be honest. He's out on track. He is going to take the win out on track as well as we come through Arouge and Radion for the final time. Kalspur now down the Kemmel straight for the final time, and it's a 9-second gap to Toxic. And again, it's been a pure domination drive, really, from Kalspur. Champion-elect, as I'm going to call him now, really beginning to dominate and assert himself as the dominant force here in TTL F1. And I think that reflects probably from his recent run of forms. Remember, coming into tonight, I will give you the point scoring from the pole and the winners. Carlsberg taking the win in Spain, in Germany and in Hungary. So Carlsberg taking those 3 wins and to add a win here in Belgium tonight. So that will be another one that Honey Badger can add on to our graphics, of course, for next week. Of course, next week you can tune in to TTTV once again. I'll be taking the Italian Grand Prix from the legendary Autodromo di Monza, one of my favourite tracks to commentate that, like with Spa as well. Carlsberg trying to put on a late show here, possibly going for fastest lap of the race as he comes through Blanchimont for the final time. But again, I will reiterate at this point, he's been dominant out on track, and now comes through Blanchimont for the final time, and Carlsberg is going to take the win here out on track. Well, it's been the big night in, and it's definitely been a big night in for Carlsberg. He will extend his championship lead. Round the final corner he comes. Carlsberg across the line, doesn't pick up the fastest lap, but he picks up the win in Belgium. Fantastic win for Carlsberg. He takes the win. Toxic will be second across the line, but on penalties he's going to be third because Slimbo hasn't got any. Toxic across the line, yeah, Slimbo picking up second as a result of no penalties out on track. Rafa unlucky with that front wing damage and with the contact at Lecombe. He comes across the line in fourth. Not happy with his result, but I think he can take that with a pinch of salt. Recon in fifth, Warren across the line and take good recovery from him after early contact with the wall at Stavolo. Abu across the line in seventh. Maybe his best result this season, if I'm not mistaken. Lighty across the line in eighth. Gort in ninth, one of his best results of the season. And Spike will be coming across the line in 10th, and we'll wait for Cass as well, who comes through the final sector. But Spike now coming through the final couple of corners through bus stop. Doesn't really care, I think he's trying to track extend through there, but Spike across the line in 10th picks up the final point, scoring position out on track. And of course, with the fastest lap being within the top 10, he also picks up the fastest lap point, so Spike picking up 2 points instead of the traditional 1. Cass, unlucky, coming around the final corner now for the Dane in 11th position. Again, he's trying to beat Spike's lap, but he's not going to. Cass across the line to finish in 11th position. That is your picks for tonight of TTL F1 League 1. And it is that man again, Carlsberg, who takes the win out on track here in Belgium. So as we go on to the podium celebrations, a British 1-2-3. Not in the way you might have expected it to progress during the race, but Carlsberg takes the win of the race in the Toro Rosso. A great drive from him. Really good drives as well from Lars Limbo on his debut, finishing in second on penalties, without any penalties, and Toxic in third with penalties. All of these guys should be commended. Everyone who finished should be commended as well. There was a bit of rough and tumble within the early couple of laps, but out in the end, clean driving and good driving prevails once again here in TTL F1. And it's that man again, Carlsberg, who takes the win out on track here in Belgium at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. He takes the win. Slimbo will get my driver of the day, however, on his debut in second. So Slimbo, my driver of the day. Toxic across the line in third, drove well for a majority of the race, just wasn't lucky with the penalties again. Rafa across the line in fourth, Recon in fifth, Warren in sixth, Abu in seventh, Gort in eighth, Lighty in ninth, Spike across the line in P10, he picks up the fastest lap point as well. Cass in 11th, the final finisher. We said all of Weeder saying really to Kelvin, Thomas, Chapelletti, Navy and Carlsbury, they DNF'd out of the race out on track. Unlucky, I think, in terms of contact. Navy probably arguably the unluckiest one, I think, getting caught up with Chapelletti backing onto track and Navy being in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at all incidents that have been done here in TTL F1, or that have been made here so far in TTL F1 tonight in Belgium. Thank you very much for watching. You can catch me tomorrow alongside Paco Suarez for TTL F1 League 2, and that will be from Belgium once again. And then we've got the season finale of CRC, and I am pumped for that because Tier 2 action and Tier 1 action will be from 7:30 and 8:30 on the channel. Fantastic, hopefully, action to be progressing out on track. And it's the season finale, both championships up for grabs. You do not want to miss it. It is my favourite track as well. It's Bathurst, and it should be a lot of fun. And of course, you can also catch me commentating on the 24 Hours of F1 event. I will need a bit of a wake-up call. I will be on at 10 till 12 on that stream on the 24 Hours F1. I'll be joining alongside J. Cole for my stint on that. I'm bringing home really the anchor leg, as well as Jess will take the final hour of the stream. But until then, I have been James Head. Thank you so much for watching here in TTL F1. The final words from me are to stay home, protect the NHS, protect your health service as well, and to save lives. Because if you do not stay home, you do not save lives. And it is simple and as bread and butter as that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.